Okay, I want you to picture the scene. A beautiful French castle, 440 rooms, 84 separate staircases in this hunting lodge. And I'm lost. I can't find Nikki. I can't get in contact with her everywhere. And it was all because of, maybe a bad attitude by me. Hi, Rick Higgins here, and today's story is, another example of, me learning how to be a better boyfriend and maybe not so great of a traveler. Let me explain. We were indeed in the middle of France. We were going off to see this, I think it was called the Chambord Castle. It is beautiful. It is huge. And it is also impossible to find somebody if you get disconnected from them. Trust me, I spent hours wandering this place, and it actually has 282 fireplaces. It's that kind of big. I couldn't find Nikki to save my soul, but we need to go back to the beginning so that you can understand how we got there. Okay, here's the deal. Nikki and I travel differently. I am one of those people, I go into a place and I have to run around and see every single part of it, and then and only then will I go back and explore the parts that really looked interesting. Nikki is the opposite. Nikki will go in and see the very first thing and she will study it. She's not going to leave it until it is time to move on to the next one, because that one has been completely consumed. I'm sure you can see, where it conflicts. I wasn't in a good mood to begin with anyway. I'm not even going to understand why. But so at the very beginning, Nikki is studying this sign, which basically says this is Cafe Chambord or whatever it was. And in a huff, I went, if you're not going to follow the way I want to do things, I'm going off on my own. So off I stomped, taking pictures. I'll show her. And then I kind of realized I was basically being an ass. And so I went, I'm going to go apologize to her. But I couldn't find her. My battery died in my phone. The battery died in her phone. We couldn't find each other. Have you ever run around 440 rooms and 84 staircases with thousands of people and not being able? All I did was look at walls and look at the back of people's heads trying to find Nikki. So this was not the greatest experience. I did not really enjoy the castle, but the worst part was yet to come. So after we did find each other, and we went off on our merry way and spent the rest of the afternoon with me basically being, how when a husband steps one toe over the line a little too far and he spends the rest of the afternoon being a little overly nice just to kind of make up for his, being an ass? Well, that was my afternoon. So we spent the rest of the day just wandering, me trying to placate and be nice, and we had dinner, and we decided we're going to head off and try to find a place to stay for the night. We did not have reservations. We had a plane that we had to get on the next morning, but we had nowhere to sleep. And that's when the real problem started. Now, I don't know if you've ever driven down a desolate and empty highway in the middle of France looking for a place to stay. But like I say, our phones, while we got them charged up, we had no data. We couldn't look up to see who was available. So what we did was we pulled off of each and every exit, wandered around the town trying to find a hotel, which ironically, every single town we came to closed 10 minutes before we got there. That was empty. It looked like a zombie apocalypse. There were no human beings anywhere. We could not find a place to stay. We figured we had a 3-hour trip and we would just sleep in a car in the airport. But then we had an idea. We would use a lifeline. We would call a friend and we would have them help us. Now, the friend that we wound up calling was Nikki's daughter, Brandy. And so what we had her do was we would tell her where we were, what exit we were passing, and she would just start typing and trying to find us a hotel. The problem was there really weren't any. And so by the time she went, I have on exit 43. Well, that was a couple miles back behind us. We finally figured out that she had to look maybe an hour into the future and then work her way back. And she did eventually find us a nice hotel in Le Mans, France. Yes, Le Mans, like the Grand Prix racing thing. And in fact, when we finally found the hotel, it was indeed a Grand Prix themed. It was really kind of lovely. Now, you would think this would be the end of the story. You would be wrong, because as we walked up to that desk and went bonjour, or however you say good evening, because I'd let Nikki do that. I don't speak French. Anyway, we have a reservation. The name is under blah, 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 and typa. And he went, no, you do not have a reservation. There's nothing in here with your name on it. We just spent hours trying to figure out how to get to this place, and you don't know who we are. And so there's a little bit of bending back and forth and back and forth, and all of a sudden we hear this ding, and the guy looks over at the computer and goes, ah, there you are. And we get a room when we go to sleep. So we did wake up the next morning, and it was indeed kind of a nice hotel, even though they really did decorate it with racing flags and whatnot. We had a lovely breakfast with chain-smoking Frenchmen in the cafe, a little coffee and croissant, and we went on our merry way back to the airport, where I had another kind of major meltdown, but I'm saving that story for later. Anyway, the moral of this story, the whole point is, it's really good to travel without a plan. I still highly recommend it. However, make sure your phone is charged up. Make sure you got a data plan. Make sure you have any kind of plan whatsoever. Guys, if you're gonna be a guy, don't be a guy. And finally, don't forget your lifeline. Now, on that note, I do want to leave you with another pointer, because while in France on a different trip heading for Strasbourg, and this video is about to tell you all about it, I had another kind of major meltdown which led to some really interesting hijinks, and I think you'll like that video, so please click away and enjoy Rick in France. And with that, be healthy, be happy, and well, we'll see you soon. Hopefully I'll have a better attitude.